This man is in a bit of a pickle. Not only was he tricked into working at a funeral home, he also had to do some creepy work on his first day of work, and although he was sick to his stomach, but Bob did his job and took the body to the morgue. But then the body sits up violently. Bob had lived half his life, and he had the courage to ask, "Are you alright?" When the man didn't respond, Bob stepped forward and slowly unzipped the bag. He peeled open the bag and saw there was a woman covered in blood. The next moment her eyes suddenly opened. Bob was so shocked that he backed up. He then rushed to the duty room. He rushed to call for help, but Bob would never have guessed he was on a reality show. His embarrassment was captured on camera and broadcast on TV. But not only did Bob not blame the camera for capturing his fright, he was happy to have his face on TV. It was this kind of bottomless pranking that helped the show's ratings soar. But it was always going to be a problem in the long run, as the guests are kept in the dark, so they are often confronted with unexpected situations. Guests are often frightened and behave uncontrollably. It's not uncommon for people to hit each other, but this time it was a close call. This time Bob almost sent the girl pretending to be a ghost into the sky. Luckily, Emma arrived just in time. She told Bob the truth. Well, that's to be expected. The episode's ratings soared, but the leader was greedy. She knew about the surprise at the taping, and not only did she not back off, instead, she asked the director to step up his game. Because of a recent abuse show that appeared on the dark web, countless people were trying to pay to unlock the video. The other side was already making a fortune. At this rate, sooner or later, the show would overtake his own. The pressure is on the director, so the director decided to go big. The team used a long-abandoned mental hospital as the location for the show. They lied to the guests that a small clinic would be opened there. They hired a gardener for this reason. Everything is ready. The nurse actor begins to take the stage. After just a few moments of contact, the nurse noticed that something was wrong with the man. He claimed to have worked here before. He often had a strange smile on his face. In her heart, the nurse felt that this man was very strange, but she did what the director told her to do. The first take goes ahead as normal. The first scare was released by the crew. The prearranged female ghost was already standing by the window. The gardener couldn't believe her eyes. He asks the nurse who that person is, but the nurse said the place hadn't opened yet. Seeing that the effect had been achieved, the nurse took him into the office for a formal interview, but the man had been acting strangely since he came in. The nurse felt something was wrong inside. He went to the director to find out what was going on. At this point, the director arranged for the staff to have the door opened automatically. The gardener walks out in fear to see what's going on. When he came into the corridor, the staff member threw a ball. When he turned his head to see, the female ghost was standing there in an eerie position holding the ball. The gardener followed to the utility room. The ghost slowly approached the gardener from behind. She wanted to give him a good scare. The whole crew was expecting a spectacular scene. The gardener pulled a knife out of his pocket. The gardener took the knife and plunged it straight into the ghost's chest. The crew rushed to tell him over the radio it was just a show, but the gardener didn't waver a bit. Instead of stopping what he was doing, he spotted the staff member hiding behind a coat hanger. Shivering, he tried to escape but was caught by the gardener. He grabbed a belt and strangled the staff member to death. At this point, the nurse couldn't sit still any longer. She wanted to save her colleague, so she rushed out of the room and found a screwdriver on her way to defend herself. She then bravely made her way to the utility room. She then saw only the strangled staff member, and the little girl who played the ghost had been thrown downstairs. She was at a loss as to what to do. That's when the director told her through her headset the gardener was heading for the utility room. She had to run for her life. The director finally told her the truth. This gardener was also a psychopath. He had hurt a lot of people. He hired such a person because it would make the show more interesting, but he never expected. Things didn't turn out the way he expected. The gardener had gone mad and killed someone. The nurse couldn't blame the director at this point. She had to run to save herself to the door, but the door was locked tightly. Then a member of staff appeared. The nurse pulled her into the room and told her that the guest of honor was a murderer, but her colleague was unconcerned. But just then, the gardener appeared behind her. He smashes the glass, reaches out and snaps his colleague's neck. He then slashes her throat. The woman runs away. She made her way to another studio. The staff opened the door for her at the last minute. The nurse managed to escape. Outside, the gardener was hysterical, hacking at the door with his axe. Finally, when there was no more movement outside the door, the nurse and her colleague both ran wildly. They get to the car and try to escape, but they found they had forgotten their keys. The male colleague volunteered to go back the way he came. The woman was left waiting. She is constantly cheering herself up, with a screwdriver in her hand. She is always on guard. In the heat of the moment, the nurse stabbed the screwdriver. She took the opportunity to escape, and that's when the gardener pulls out his headphones and yells at the director. He said he had to be seriously injured for just acting. He was in so much pain that he couldn't act anymore. It turned out that the gardener was also a prearranged actor. Everyone was playing along with the director. Only the nurse was kept in the dark. It was the nurse who was really being tricked in this episode. Watching the show achieve its desired effect, the director laughed out loud, but the gardener went on strike. He turns off the camera in anger. At that moment, several men in scary masks surrounded him. These are the same villains on the dark web who will do anything to get what they want. Their goal is to make the show look real. They were posting brutal torture videos on the dark web. It turns out that while the show's team was tampering with the hostess, the masked men were also messing with the crew. The gardener is seen surrounded by several men. The gardener is then killed by the men. They put a fake arm and a fake blood plate on the ghost girl. The female ghost was dressed up as a handsome figure. Watching all this, the nurse finally realized that she was the one who was being tricked, and the crazy gardener was just a hired actor. She cursed angrily at the camera, but he didn't answer a word. She couldn't resist going to find him and confronting him face to face. But on the way, she meets the director. She goes up to him and punches him in the face, but he tells her to run, because there's a dark web abuse group in control of the venue. But the nurse just thinks the director is still screwing with her. The next thing she knew, the masked men were surrounding them. The nurse finally believes what the director says. Just as they were about to strike at them, they took a phone call and suddenly they were gone. The two directors couldn't care less. When they had a chance to escape, they ran for their lives. From the footage left behind, the deranged men had taken the girl Linda, who was pretending to be a ghost. That's when the director's mobile phone rang. The sadistic group told them that if you wanted to save Linda, you had to do what they said. The two men followed the instructions and went to the control room. The nurse had grabbed a crossbow on the way as a defensive tool. The computer in the control room had long since been hacked. A video of the abuse was playing on the screen. The two men were afraid to look at it, but these were still the warm-up events. The bigger stuff was yet to come. They set up a live feed and planned to bury someone live in the garden. The girl was screaming for help in the enclosed space. She'd made so many trumped-up videos. Maybe this was karma. She was determined to save the thing. The two men peeled the dirt off the coffin and managed to free the girl. Just as the three were about to leave, the mysterious masked men came up from all around again. The masked man in the lead told the nurse there is no way to survive, but she could only take one person with her. The remaining director becomes the target of their next video. After much deliberation, she chose to save the young girl. She hugged the director tightly and kept saying she was sorry. The director could understand her. She then drove away with the girl. On the other hand, the director was pushed to the incinerator. Until his death, he kept taunting the masked man. You only play bloody sadistic games. You don't know how to make a show. The show has to have a twist to make it exciting. Until he saw the video of the girl on the screen. In the video, she's acting hard and pretending to choke. It turns out the girl and the mysterious masked man are in cahoots. She'd infiltrated the show to find out about the filming schedule in advance. Then she told the group about the plan to make the video for profit. The director was speechless for a moment. The devil is always the same. He had been careless after all. He laughed bitterly, not expecting that he, a director of a trumped-up show, would end up being trumped up by someone else, and at the cost of the lives of the whole crew. He was slowly pushed into the incinerator with a feeling of remorse. The nurse in the car was driving along at a furious pace. Suddenly, she notices a masked man's camera above her. She looks in horror at the girl next to her. Something doesn't seem right, but she doesn't dare make a move. If the girl is in league with them, that means she's still in the hands of the masked men. She was now in the middle of nowhere. How would she cope with the mysterious masked man's abuse?